All right, and DD India's Shubhendu Ghosh joins us live on this. Hi, Shubhendu. Tough test indeed for Shigeru Ishiba as Japan goes to polls. Shubhendu, with polling underway, tell us what is the present situation? As half of the seats are up for grabs in these upper house polls.
That's right, Siddharth. It's a critical test for Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba's leadership. It's going to be a test of what kind of trust do the voters in Japan invest in this government, the LDP and Komeito coalition. Remember, it's a 3.5 hours time difference between New Delhi and Tokyo, which means that the elections, the voting in Japan should be concluding in just a short while from now, and then the counting would begin. And local time, Tokyo, by midnight Sunday, the initial trends or perhaps even the results may be available. Coming back to the test that Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba is facing, he's leading a minority government in the lower house of parliament, coming into power last October, and the elections that happened in October 2024. He's leading a minority government that was in many ways anchoring on the majority that the coalition, LDP and Komeito, had in the upper house. And now about 125 seats are going into polls, of which they must win at least 50 seats to be able to retain that majority. Although the opinion polls show that it is unlikely to be able to manage that number, at least 50 seats out of 125. Now, what does that mean in case he loses that majority? Well, the first thing would be that the coalition would have now minority in both the lower house and the upper house if Prime Minister's coalition loses the majority in the upper house, which would further destabilize the government, his own position in the party. There could be calls for him to step down, which is also a tradition in Japan. So in many ways, a lot about his personal political standing, the future of his party, and Japan's larger political future anchors on what happens in these crucial elections.
Indeed. Shubhendu, inflation and migrant issues are a major one there. What are Japanese saying on the same, and how is Japan planning to deal with it?
That's right, Siddharth. At the heart of these elections is the issue of cost of living, the economic crisis that Japan is going through at the moment, and the working class and their access to staple food like rice has been a very, very critical issue. Access to rice because of the production, the distribution issues. The price of rice is at an all-time high for the past 2 years. The inflation is about upwards of 3%. There is a mounting debt also as far as Japan's economy is concerned. You mentioned immigration as well. The economy is facing a fundamental problem of declining population, which basically means that they have to also import professional workforce to be able to keep their economy running. About 1 million immigrants working in Japan. There is also a growing political position against this sort of immigrants getting more rights, land rights, property rights in Japan. So there is also a pushback of that kind, which is hampering the economy significantly. Add to that, there is of course Donald Trump's threat of tariffs, which looms large come 1st of August.
Definitely. You just mentioned the tariffs. Shubhendu, I want to ask you that, after the election, the country faces a deadline of August 1st to strike a trade deal with the United States or face punishing tariffs. What details do you have on this for us?
That's right. That's a huge challenge facing the Japanese economy and the Japanese leadership. As we speak, the tariff negotiations, talks between the two sides, Washington and Tokyo, are stalled. These elections, the outcome, what kind of strength is Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba able to demonstrate? If he retains the majority, he will be perhaps in a better position to negotiate the deal. But if he doesn't, it will throw Japan and the parliament diet into a great degree of political instability. Trump's administration wants greater access to Japanese markets, particularly in terms of American rice and American motors, automobiles getting access to Japanese market. Japan and America have a trade volume of about upwards of $200 billion, of which about $150 billion are the exports that Japan sends to America. So if the trade deal doesn't work out, the Trump administration is going to put, as they've threatened, 25% tariff on all exports that are coming in from Japan. That would be a big setback for the Japanese economy. So a lot rides on what happens in these elections then.
Well, that remains to be seen, but as of now, thank you so much, Shubhendu. We leave it there.